Everything is possible. If there is still a little bit of repair value, they will try every means to restore it to its original state. The piston in front of us is worth it before it is finished. No matter it is bent now, the master will straighten it in the next operation. Before the formal repair, the piston must be returned first. Since the store has no cow dung in stock, the master can only burn it with unclean clothes. After burning nearly 20 pieces of clothes, the temperature has reached the standard for correction. Under the repeated squeezing of the leaf press, the piston is also slowly straightening. Bending to straightening is also a relatively long process. The masters are required to correct it patiently. Bending is very easy in a matter of a moment. The difficulty of straightening is completely different. After repeated comparisons and measurements by the master, the piston is also getting smoother and smoother on the road to straightening. After slight correction and adjustment, the concentricity has been restored to its original state. At this time, the bent piston has been completely straightened. Because of the burning of polyester fiber in clothes before it was smoked black and the surface was sticky. After a simple cleaning by the master had to use a polishing wheel to remove the sticky substance on the surface. Because the piston sense will inevitably have bumps after long-term use. Even if it is not bent, it will knock off the electroplating layer on the surface. When polishing these stains, polish the piston sense, by the way, until all the sticky substances on the polyester fiber on the surface are removed. Just now, the hydraulic piston sense cannot be used if the electroplating layer has been damaged after grinding. It is necessary to pickle the surface with hydrochloric acid. Due to the limited conditions of the repair shop and the lack of a pickling tank, they used hydrochloric acid in a plastic bottle for spraying. The purpose of pickling is to degrade the piston sense. Normal degrading generally requires soaking in a hydrochloric acid tank for 3 hours. Because it has been polished before degrading, the remaining electroplating layer on the surface only needs to be cleaned with hydrochloric acid. At this time, the surface has no shiny electroplating layer, because there is no condition for pickling and soaking. After the degreasing, in order to avoid the residual electroplating layer on the surface, the master polished the surface again. After the surface polishing, all the dents on the piston rod are repaired with a strip. If these dents are not treated, it will cause hydraulic oil leakage, and the oil seal on the steel head will be easily scratched. Because the repaired strip will be very rough, each strip point needs to be polished by the master, and then the polished strip will be polished to keep the smoothness consistent with other parts of the piston rod. Electroplating has extremely high requirements for the smoothness of the metal surface. In order to avoid electroplating failure, the master can only polish it again with a polishing brush coated with soapy water. In this way, the surface can be thoroughly cleaned. The piston feel at this time completely meets the requirements of electroplating. After protecting other parts, they can enter the electroplating solution. After powering on, the piston feel can be electroplated. The boiling electrolyte in the pool is enough to prove that it is taking effect. How thick the electroplating layer on the surface depends on the electroplating time. The word is wiped dry again. Then the bent piston feels completely straightened. What do you think of the master's skills?